Hi, everyone. Welcome to Live with Janome. I'm Ann Hine, embroidery software specialist for Janome America. And in just a moment, I'll put my camera on. My voice is a little bit better. It's almost back to normal, not quite, but almost there. So if you're out there, give me a little thumbs up so I know everybody can hear me and things are going okay in that respect. And then I'll put the camera on in just a moment. I know I had a little trouble with that last week, so I want to make sure that my microphone is working. Let me double check here. Yep, it looks like they're going. All right, turn that off. And I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on. So hang on one second while I do that. Hi, everybody. So welcome. I'm back a little bit with this voice, much better than last week. Oh my goodness. I had a big week at the office and I arrived there and get laryngitis and like really bad. Then I had to like whisper like this to talk. It was terrible. And most of you know me, I love to talk. So it was very difficult for me to be quiet. So I do have my comments up. So if you're out there, go ahead. Oh, thanks, Marty. I do. I feel, and I really didn't feel bad last week. My throat didn't hurt. I didn't feel bad at all. I just couldn't talk. And it was it was hard, very, very hard. So anyways, and I was there to do some videos and do that. So I did the magic hand part. And then we have someone at the office, Danielle, who did the voices. And so those things will be coming out a little bit later. Anyways, today we're talking about Artistic Digitizer Junior. And those of you who have a CM17, you got it for free in the box. And I really challenge you guys to open that up and get it started, not only because the connection between your CM17, which is back behind me there, and your software you can send wirelessly. It's also easier to use the USB port when you're going through there, and you can create stuff. You can merge designs, you can add lettering, all that kind of stuff. And today, I'm going to show you how to create an In the Hoop project and an applique. Now, our full program has all the tools, maybe a little easier to do than you can in Junior, but I wanted you to show that you can play along with Junior. And here's what I made today. I made this. This is a mug rug in the hoop. This is the applique. Actually, it's a two-part applique. And then this is how it's closed in the back. I didn't close it quite yet. I want to talk about that. But here's my project. And I'm going to show you how in the software, how to create this, where to get this design, and how to do all of that. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Oh, you're hot, dry Florida. Well, I'm in like hot, steamy Delaware. So we are humid here today. So that's a little bit of a problem. So this is our little project today. And what I'm going to do before I start, instead of stitching it, I did some step outs. So I'm going to show you my step outs and talk about the parts that you'll need to create this. Then I'll go to the software and we'll go through the software and I'll show you all the parts and how they go together. So it's very easy. If you can point and click, you can do this, really. All right, so let me change to my camera view here. And so when you do a In the Hoop project, so this is our project here. When you're working with an In the Hoop project, what you want to do is, you'll be creating a placement line. So you'll stitch, and I don't have my hoop here. I'd stitch these in the hoop. I don't know if you can see where it's been. I took them back out so I could show you each step. And so you will create a placement line, stitch your placement line. And then after that, and I'm going to put this little thing behind here. After you do your placement line, you will do, let me make sure I have these in the right way. Yep. You'll lay your fabric over it and do a tack down. All right. And then for your applique, you may have a placement line and then you would lay this on top. I also added a piece of batting to the back. Whoops, at this point. What's going on here? Oh, it's holding the batting. That's what's missing. Hang on. When things stick together. There you go. Placement line, Put your fabric over it. All right, then it stitches it down. The next thing is a placement line for your applique. You're going to lay your applique fabric on there. I wouldn't normally have a pin here. It's just for my video today. And then I put a piece of batting on the back, and you can use tape for that. Let me get the tape in there. Okay. Now I do have my comments up, so please comment, and I'll answer as I go. It's a little bit far for me to see. So now I'm going to stitch the applique fabric. Now on mine, I typically don't do this, and the reason is, look how big this is, a 5-inch square. So I don't really need a placement line. I know it's going to fit over that. So let me move this one aside, and then we'll go to the next one. So here it is, stitched down. And then I will take my scissors, and you can use applique scissors or regular scissor, or nice sharp pointy ones. I have both of these that I use. I have a smaller pair of these as well that I like, but these are great because they fit under there and they sort of lift up the fabric so you get nice and close. These little parts, I like these pointy things because I can get them right in there. So you're going to stitch that and then trim it. Once you trim it, let me move that aside, it looks like this. And then on the back, I have my batting ready to go. I don't trim the batting. I only trim from the front right now. And so what's going to happen next is it's going to do the finishing stitch around here, the satin stitch around there. And that will look like, hang on, let's see if I got it. Okay, that's going to look like this. Plus, you can add the center design on here. And then you could do a placement line for this, but if you use a big enough square, it's going to cover that. And so you can do your, just do a tack down, trim it, and then the next one, you'll trim it and then do the satin stitch. All right. At this point, the next part you're going to do is there's another row of stitching you'll do around here. I call this my batting cut line. So once I do that, I didn't want the batting in the seam as much, so I trimmed it close. I made a little line in here and trimmed it close to that. So once I got to this, I'm almost to the end. This is my finished, well, after you trim it, there's a satin stitch you put on there. I have a little trim line. I made it bigger in there. See how that almost like little piping. You don't have to do this, but I kind of liked it, so I did. And then for your backing, what you're going to do, I want to trim this thread. This bugs me. There we go. With your backing, you're going to take your two backing pieces, and I cut them 4 inches by 6. And the other one, I will fold back 1/2 inch, and then I'll lay it on there so the right sides are up. And I'm really creating a 6-inch piece of fabric. And I don't want my tape to be too high that it's going to get caught in the seam. And then I'm going to take this and lay it flat on here, like so. And the last stitch out, it will stitch all the way around, leaving, let me turn one back. I'll show you what it looks like. When you get done, it looks like this in your hoop. And then you're going to take it out, trim it. I used a little bit of pinking shears all the way around. And then you're going to turn it right here. Now, typically I do like bigger pieces and I fold more fabric back, but you know what? You only really need this much, a 1/2 inch. Why mess all that fabric and then have that extra in the seam? And once I turn it, I used my point turner to go around here and get it really nice. Now, when I get done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little Wonder Under or fusible tape under here and iron it down so it's closed. So I don't even have to worry about it. And there it is. Now this is a mug rug. If you feel you need a vinyl in there, you can always trim one and cut one to fit in there. I turned off all my announcements today, as many as I could. And then the one I don't turn off because I never get announcements from there, I got an announcement from. How fun is that? So that's what you will end up with. Let me move this out of the way. And then a couple things that I do when I get done is I do print out my design. And then where these boxes, let me get the boxes under here. Where these boxes are, I go ahead and I write down what the parts are and what I'm going to do. Then, because I'm on my Mac, I figured out how to save it as a JPEG, open it as a JPEG in a Mac, and then I can actually add this typing to it. So here are my, and I'll leave this up for a moment so everybody can see. These are the different parts of it right there. And then over here is what fabric, if you're going to do this, the size of the fabrics. And I'll hold this up. I'm going to go ahead and I will put this PDF over on the Janome Artistic Digitizer page with the video, so you'll have it together all in one. I can't do that on the Janome page, on the sewing machine page, but I can over on the other page. So this will be over on that page at that point. So let me go back here to the camera and I'm going to show you how that works. I'm going to check one thing on my phone before I go too far here. I don't know what's going on with my camera. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, sorry about that. All right, so let's go into the software and I'll show you how to create this. Well, you know, Marty, I think we can, I don't know. I tried it on my PC and you can, I'll show you where you can save both programs, Mac and PC. You can save it as a JPEG or a PDF, but I couldn't figure out when I opened my JPEG how I could add the writing. Maybe, I don't know. And I don't know if you save as a PDF, you'd have to have Adobe to add to that. So I don't know. Though you could type it in Word, do a cut and, you know, like a screenshot, cut and paste and lay it on there if you want. I don't know. But in my Mac, it was so seamless. I'm like, why haven't I done this before? You can always use this method of writing on there. Okay. And I actually print mine out in landscape and I'll show you that as well. Okay, let's open the software and we'll go from there. Let me see here. Here's my software. And I'm going to click on that. There we go. Let me move this down. I think everybody can see okay. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up the my temp flower here because that's the one we just did. And I'll show you here in the sequence window all those parts. Remember, we had a placement, a tack down. Here's a placement for the flower if you want to use it, or you can just lay your fabric and tack it down, trim it. There's your next part, which is let me put my properties on. There we go. Let's see what's oh, I know what's happening. Hold on one second. This weird thing happens sometimes with my properties. Let me see if I can get them to close. There we go. And then if I touch there. Well, all right, there it goes. All right, there, I made it a satin cereal. Here's that inner design. There's the tack down for the center one. Then we have what I call the batting cut line, and then that decorative stitch, and then the final stitch. So let me show you how I start out and how I create this, because everything is right here in the program. And what I did is I went up the way this does this. You want to go up on your top toolbar where it says tools, and then you're going to go to insert symbol. And I went into wingdings. Wingdings are the same. This one is the same on my PC as it is here. I have some other ones too that I can go to, but you'll be able to find this design. It's a very common design we have in here. It's one of these two flowers, and I like to use the one that's the fill, that has the fill. And what I want to do first is I'm going to close this. I'm going to open a new page so I can just go through it from start to finish. So I don't want to use this hoop, so I'm going to go ahead and go to my machine tab, change, go to the RE20D. If I feel like I need to work in landscape, I could go ahead and it's not necessary, put 90 in there, and I could rotate my hoop if you feel you need it. All right, and once I have that, I can come up here, like I said, to Tools, Insert Symbol, and under Wingdings, and there's other ones if you click here, there's Wingdings 2 and 3, and I have some of these dingbats in there too. But we're going to use this one. You should be able to find it. Scroll down till you get to this flower, and this is the one I chose. And I chose it because the outline one actually creates two outlines, which get confusing. So this does not, and I'm going to select it, click Insert, and then I'm going to start down here. I guess you can just click and drag and see how that works, just like that. And then you can really make it any size you want. Let's close that. You can make it any size you want. And I'm going to go ahead up here and center it to my hoop. There we go. And I think I made mine about 4 inches. So we're pretty close here. You can adjust it right up here in your toolbox. And what I need to do is I'm going to break it apart. Well, before I break it apart, I'm going to delete the inside. So coming down here to my use colors and delete that inside. And now I'm going to break it apart. Let's take a look at it. You can see that this jumps in and joins that part. So it's all joined together. And I really want the pieces of it. So I'm going to right click on it, break apart. And then I need to probably break apart again. Let's see what that is. Break apart again. There we go. And then this part here, I don't want that center, so I'm going to break apart again. So you want to break apart till you have all your single pieces. And I don't need this inner one, so I'm just going to delete that one. Now I start typically when I'm making something, this is a mug rug, I usually start with my design first. And then after I get the design done, I figure out I'm going to put a rectangle around this or a circle. So let me work with the design first so I can show you that. And you'll also learn how to, in your sequence window, how to move things around. So my sequence window is kind of closed at the moment. To open it, I would go to Auto. And then as I create parts and colors, these will separate out over here. So my outside, I'm going to select the outside and I'm going to go to my colors. I have to turn my colors back on. There we go. And there they are. And I'm going to go to the top of my colors. And I'm going to make this black. I'm going to try to use from the top down on there. So this is my outer edge. And as I said, when you're working with this, you can make a placement line, your tack down line, and your finishing for your applique, all with this same line. Okay, you don't have to change the size of it if you could, but you don't have to. So if I wanted to use this as my placement, what I need to do to get my tack down is just copy and paste. Now I copy and paste because I want them, for me it's easier than duplicate. I will duplicate something a little bit later to show you that, but when I'm copying and pasting, I want my pieces to really stay individual. So that's what I'm doing. And then I'll just pick my next color down and make that gold. So I have a placement and I have a tack down. And now I'm going to do my finishing. So once more, I'll do a copy and a paste. And I'll go here to pink and you'll see we get another box here. So this is the one that I want to change to a satin fill, a satin outline. So I selected it. I went to my properties outline and I'm going to check satin serial. Right here, I can change the width of the stitch and I'm going to use, I think I use 2.0 mm and then return. Now, one of the things you have to watch out for, and I'm going to go in here and look, sometimes you do that to these designs, they don't make their points nice, and these looked like it did pretty good. So I'm going to stick with that, so I'm good with that part. All right. Now from here, I'm going to reorder this so I don't get too confused with things. So this is my placement, so I'm just going to move it to the top. And then these two, I can click one, shift, click the other, and just move it up to here. And my two green parts are at the bottom, and that's fine. What I want to do is work with the outer part first of my green, and then the inner part. So I'll select the outer part, and I actually am going to leave it, well, let's see, I can make it another color. Let's go in here to colors. And I'm going to make it, let's see, we did pink. I'm going to go to this red, and I'm going to make it red. And it moves down right here. Now, the one thing I noticed with mine, I like to do it twice, to go around twice. So what I did is, this is where I used duplicate. So I selected duplicate in one. And this one actually needs to go before the circle. So I'm going to move it up. And then the circle, I don't really need, I'm going to turn this one orange right here. I don't need the placement on this because I'm just going to lay my fabric down, but I need a tack down. So this will be tacked down. And then I'm going to copy and paste, and I'll change that to green. And that's down here. And this is the one that I need to make a satin stitch. So I'm going to go to satin, and I can change it in here. Maybe I want to use 1.75, not quite as big as my other one. Here we go. And so now my flower is done. All right, so I have all the parts of the flower. I have a placement, a tack down, a finishing. I have my decorative center. I have a tack down of the center, and then the finish. Now I just need to work on that outer part. So I'm going to go back into my tools, insert symbol, and I'm going to find a circle. And I do want to use this kind of a thing. I think I like to use the solid one. So I'm going to go back to my tools, insert symbol, and let's go down here and find that solid, insert, and I'm just going to drag it over my piece like this. And what I want to do is really make my arrow go straight down or straight across like that. And I'm going to hit close. And while it's selected, I'm going to delete that solid right here. You're clicking the X on the fill. And I'm going to realign this, excuse me, in the center. Let me back out so you can see it. So now I can use my arrow keys to get it right on center. Now, what I want to do is really make it a little bit larger. And I think I made mine 5.5 inches. All right. Oh, did it go open again? Let me see if I have to reopen it. No, I think, are you guys still there? Give me a thumbs up so I can tell that you're still here. I may have to, let me close my window on Facebook and reopen it. I'm not sure what happened. I have really good internet today. So let me see, go find us again. And I want to be here. Okay. All right, let's see what happened. I'm back. Is everybody there? Okay. Phew. Sorry. This might be in two parts. I'm not sure what's happening. I have really good internet today, so I don't know why that's happening. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm going to make the, let's go down here to the, where this is. There we go. And this is green because this outer part's green. So I'm going to change the color of my outer circle. Let's make that one blue. There we go. Now you'll see down here. So I have a blue line. Yeah, there was. Something happened and it looked like it was restarting from my end, but hopefully it's not a problem now. All right, so this would be my placement line, and then I would do a tack down line. So I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm going to make my circle the same up here. Let me do 5.25 there. All right, and then I'm going to copy and paste this and pick another color. We'll do it this purple. And this will be my tack down, but I want that tack down. You know how I have that special line inside? I'm going to make it smaller using the proportional and the percentage here. And I'm going to make it, I believe, 95%. So I put 95, and there we go. Now I have that inner one. And that inner one is going to be, I'm going to go down here to a darker color, this dark brown. So I have the outer placement. I'm going to put my fabric down, tack it down, and then I'm going to start my design. So these two really need to be at the top. So I'm going to go and select both of them. So I got one, shift, select the other. And over here on my design, I'm going to right click, order, and I'm going to pick to back of design. And that will put them at the very top. So now I have my two top ones, right? And I just need the ones I had at the bottom. Does that make sense to everybody? Too hot for the internet. Yeah, true. I'm too hot for the internet. Oh, yeah. All right. So when I get to the bottom, I'm going to take this one here. This is the inner one. And I'm going to copy and paste it. And I'm going to, do you get tired of copying and pasting? Isn't that easy? I'm going to turn it into a wine red color. And this is going to be that line that I call my batting cut line. So I'm going to stitch this, then I'll take it off and I'll trim the batting from the back. And then I'm going to copy and paste that one. And I'm going to make it this blue here. And that's the one that I'm going to make that little satin stitch. So I'm going to go to satin serial. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll make it 1.25 mm. Don't forget the mm. There we go. And I'll zoom in so we can see that. Let me get off of there. See that little part? And the last part I need is that outer stitch at the end. So I'm actually going to click on this outer one because that's the one I want. It's at the top, which is fine. I'm going to copy and paste. Now it's at the bottom. The copy is at the bottom. And I'm going to change the color. And we'll make it, let's go down here. I have a nice sunny color down at the bottom. Let's see. There we go. I'm going the wrong way. Mousy going the other way. Here we go. Let's pick this really sunny yellow here. So that's my finishing stitch. Okay. So I have all my lines, and I want to show you something that you can do this or not do this, but when you have two pieces that are the same, they will start and stop in the same spot. And I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to go to slow redraw, and we're going to start that. It starts over there, and I'm going to move it along. So it's doing that one, the black placement, and see how it started again right there. If I want this one to start over here, it's really easy. Select it in your properties box up here in your toolbox. You can do mirror Y, and we'll go back and take a look. I don't do this every time because I forget, but if you really like your start and stops to be in different places, that's a way to do it. With this, let's go to slow redraw, and we'll do the black one around, and then it should hop, there it is, to the brown one. So you can do that with some things. You can't do it with the flower because this flower is, the mirror image is weird, so you can't mirror image it, but that's okay. So now I have my design, and I'm going to do two things. And I should have done this at the top, but pretty much I don't do this part until the end. I'm done with this design, and I'm going to go and save it. So I want to go up to my file and save as. And the first one I'm going to save is as a draw file. All right. I'm not going to save it as a Jeff yet because I don't know what this is going to look like when I stitch it. So I don't want to have all these Jeff files I have to go back and take care of. So I'm just going to save it as a draw file. And I'm going to call this Annie's flower. I'm just going to call it Annie's. And then it's going in my AD Junior class folder. And I'll just show you. where all my folders are. I have on my desktop, I have a working folder. So if you were on your PC, you would check what your folders over here on the left, check the folder you want to go in, and then it's going to open more folders. On a Mac, it's right here. I'm going to open my working folder, and then in here, I have an AD junior class. So under this on my PC, it would be right under here. So I would open it here. So on a Mac, we're just going to keep going this way. On a PC, it kind of stays in a column. Just so you know, it's the same thing. All right, so in my junior class folder, I'm saving Annie's as a draw, and I'm going to do save. From here, I will do two things. I'm going to stitch this, right? So I'm going to go up here to my machine tab, and I'm either going to send it by wire, right here. I could do wireless right here, ready to sew, and send, and it's over there. Or if I like to use USB, maybe I don't have a wireless machine, I'm going to close this. I'm going to click on my tab. So this is for anybody from a CM17 to any machine. Come here. You won't have this option. Go right here to your USB storage. And this is my USB storage. And sometimes my USB, let me see if I can, sometimes it stops working. I think it's going. There it is. Okay. There it is. So I'm going to click on my USB, and it opens, and I see my EMBF folder. All right. I don't have to, if I like to use the EMBF, I would double click on it and save it in there. If I save it right now, it'll be on the same level as my EMBF. So I'm going to do this, level EMBF, so you can see these different positions, and I'm going to export it. I'm going to go back in and show you again. No name. So now it's on the same level as my EMBF. If I like EMBF, I can just go ahead, and I don't change it from a JPX, because that's a JEF file with a graphic. Now I'm going to put it in my EMBF folder. I'm going to put in EMBF so you guys can see that. Export. Let's open it again. It's always good to know, if you're a CM17 owner right now, you don't even have to use the folders, and your designs show up right on the screen. It's amazing. And they're sorted on the page by size. So you don't have to page over. It's so amazing. So I'm going to go and pick no name. And I'm going to use my up arrow here. There's my EMB. If I want to put it in I have one right now that's on the same level as my EMB, but I'm going to put Annie's on that same level too. I'm going to say level with EMB so you can see, and export. All right, so let's go back to that to look at it again. When I select I don't see my EMB because it opens to our EMBF. There's the one that's level with this one. If I opened my EMBF, there's the one that's in it. Let's go back up. Let's go up one more. And here's the one that's on the same level as my EMB. It's outside my EMB, okay? All right, I know that blows everybody's mind, but we have many machines that can handle that now. You just have to know where the up arrow is on your machine as well, all right? Okay, there's a new video out there that I did on the CM17 when we did the upgrade, and it shows the screen and all that part of it. So hopefully we're not lagging again. It looks like we're still good. Let me double check. All right, looks like we're still going. Hopefully. Whew. All right, now I would send it to my machine, and I would stitch it out at that point. If I like it, now is the time I would save it as a JEF, and I would go back up to my file, save as. I would change this down here to a JEF or a JPX, but probably a JEF. And then it's going to go in my junior class folder, and it's Annie's, and I'm going to do save. There we go. Okay, so I don't save as a JEF until I'm completely done and I know it's the correct one. Typically, I'm putting it on my USB and taking it to my machine or sending it wirelessly to my machine. I don't, let me put the camera back on. Let's see here. There we go. I don't save right away as a Jeff until I've stitched it out and I know I like it. Then I can save it as a Jeff. Then I can, copy and paste it to my USB later if I need to open it again. So that's why I do it that way. I don't want all these Jeff 1, Jeff 2, I don't want all these copies of the one that I don't like. So I make sure I tweak it as I go. And once I'm happy with that draw file, and I've stitched it out, I will save that as a Jeff in my program. So that's easier that way. A lot of less things to do. All right, I'm going to show you one more thing, and that's the print function, so I can show you how that's working, so that if you have a Mac, you could do things like this. Let's see, where you can print on your paper. I found that out by accident today, and it just it just blew my mind. All right, so let me go back into the program, go to the software here. There we go. And I'm going to go to the print function. So right up here on my toolbar is the print function. And then when I go into print over here, typically it comes up as with your printer. You can go to page setup right here and choose landscape and okay. And then what I like to do is down here, I'm going to do design only. And I'm going to go back to the sequence icons. Those are the ones that are at the bottom. The color changes, I don't like those because they're up here and they're too tiny. So I like the ones that are down here. All right, these make me happy. I'm going to uncheck portrait, so it'll go back to landscape, and then I could print this out. Now, if I don't want to print it out, I can save it as a JPEG in my Mac, and I can come down here to save. And then I can save it right in, I'm going to save it as Annie's. I'll just save it as Annie's and we'll go to save. But actually, I want to put it on my desktop, I think. Maybe I'll put it right in my working folder. Or maybe I'll just keep with my same plan. Okay, let's save it in there. Now, what you have to do to be able to print on it is you have to go to your folder. And there's my folder right there. And I'm not sure, let's see if this is going to show on the screen because I'm sharing my screen. Let's see if it opens up because I'm on a lag. All right, so it doesn't want to show on there, but I would open it here and then I would open my junior folder and I would open my JPEG. And let's see if that will show up on here. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can let me see if I can open up another screen on my software. Hold on one second. Find where I'm at here. Let's say this, we'll do cover page. Well, that's me. And I don't know if it's hard for it to, yeah. Some things just don't show up, but when you open it back up, I'm going to go back to the screen where you see me. There we go. When you open it back up, let's go to the right one. There we go. When you open it back up on your Mac, it opens on your screen and then you have a little pencil. You click on it and it opens up your options for typing. And you open a text box and you make a box. So I can't show you that because for some reason, the way my streaming software saves, I can't show you that picture. But definitely when when you have this on your page at the very top here, you'll see some tools and those are what you want to use. You can Google that, how to write on a JPEG. I saved it as a JPEG in your Mac. So it was very easy. And the only thing I haven't found yet is the undo button. So I've typed some things and then deleted them by accident. So I have to play around with it a little bit more. I couldn't, even when I right clicked, I'm used to Windows, so I'm trying to my Windows functions, but I'm trying to actually think Mac. So there you go. Some of you might know it already and you can probably send me some tips. Okay. All right. So, how does everybody feel about working with, how many junior owners do we have out there? Give me some thumbs up if you own junior and you're using it. Even if you're not using it, if you own it and you've loaded it and you haven't opened it yet, give me a thumbs up for that. Let's see if we have some people out there. I'll wait a minute and I'll chat while that's happening. One of the things too is go join our Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook group. It's the one with the big blue banner. Okay, and it says Janome Artistic Digitizer. We have lots of information there. This video will be dragged over there probably next week with the PDF or the JPEG, whatever I bring over. So you have these lists. You can print this out so you have that in your hand to work with, and you can create your own. It wasn't that hard, was it? I used things right in the program. I didn't go anywhere. Now you could take an embroidery instead of having an applique here. You could use one of your embroideries and just create the outer part if you wanted to. You could take some of your embroideries and create appliques out of them. Maybe I'll do that with Junior along the way too. The thing with Junior is you only have the option of running line and satin. So you don't have like a blanket stitch or any of those decorative stitches. Though I know there's a way. So I have a little secret I'm going to do next week. So you have to join me next week when I show you some more things then. All right. I can't tell if I guess I'm still on because it's still working and people are still out there. All right. So I'm going to let all of you go. If you need something, post in the comments so I can come out and answer any questions about our project. If you have questions about that or how to do something, let me know. Or you'll always find me over on the Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook page. We're a great help, lots of support. It's almost like someone said we're 24/7, 365 days a year. Oh my gosh. Because we have people all over the world who are happy to help you at any time. So it's not me waking up at 2 a.m., though sometimes I'm on at 2 a.m. It just depends. I travel the country as well. I won't be out and about at an event. I'm doing a dealer. I thought it was going to be at an event this week, but I decided I should stay home and rest, except for today, my voice. So I'm not at any outside events. I do have a special Janome event I'm doing for our dealers. I'll be in Connecticut for a few days and out in Portland for a few days. And of course, I'll be seeing the kiddo out there, which is fun. I don't know if you noticed, I'm going to point this way. There we go. My hydrangeas and my little capybara. Nutmeg. That's nutmeg. Yeah, so Marty, you can do this in full with the same design, and you could use your shapes tool for the circle if you want, and you can use different, stitches if you want. You don't have to use, just the ones from Junior. You have options to use more of them. But I wanted to show our Junior members there's more to do with it than just transferring designs and working with lettering. Okay? All right, everyone, have a great day. Be sure to check out our live during the week. We're here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then they're always here in the feed. So if you miss one, you can always come back and look for it. And then on Fridays, we're over on the Continental Club page for our Continental members. But it's always good to check out that. Many of our options on our machines are the same on some of our other models. All right. So everyone have a great day. Have a great weekend when it gets here. And we'll see you all again next week. Bye for now.